Hi, I'm Dr. Laura Hanson, owner and founder of Original Development and Therapy Center located in Dunwoody, Georgia. This is part of an ongoing video series. I'm reaching out to the community. I want to give you some insight into working with children with neurobehavioral challenges. If your child is a toddler, if your child is school age, and if your child is a teenager, and you have some concerns about their well-being, I encourage you to visit our website, look at the information that's available, and then go to the Contact Us tab and feel free to submit your personal question to me and I will be happy to answer it. If I'm not the right person for you, I will give you resources to get you on your way. Today, my heart is really towards teenage girls. I am seeing a few teenage girls in my office right now, and I am just overwhelmed with the changes that are not only affecting our little ones, but are also already manifested into our teenage population. In some videos ago, I told you about a piece of research that I read many years ago, over a decade, that completely changed my life. That scientists were already looking at this concept of where we've had some real pivotal change in our world. And it actually occurred around the 1980s. And in the 1980s is when the electronical system had just absolutely begun its ever-increasing growth. And today, who we really see has been impacted, I'm going to say negatively, are our young adults, maybe around 21, 22, all the way down to 12, 13-year-olds as well. They have been so affected by electronics. And the one area that I want to focus on today is social. They are so focused in on cell phones that they have lost the art of the need to communicate with people as well as just to want to communicate. Now, what this may look like in your home is a child who doesn't follow direction. You give a command as a parent and they don't follow. You have to repeatedly go back and say the same thing to them. And when you really get to the heart of this teenager, what they're going to tell you, they just don't want to do it. Now, many of us, either my age or a little bit younger, we grew up in a different environment. We would have never have thought to disobey our parents in that manner. Or if we did, we knew that there would be consequences. Over time, parental styles have changed too. And the consequences and disciplines are not matching where the behaviors are continuously to go out of control in our young adults. Let me tell you something about electronics. I know they're here to stay. This is not to be a plea to take them away forever. There's a lot of advantages about having a computer. I get that. The ability to get information at the press. But electronics actually ramp up the left side of your brain more than the right side of the brain. Now, if you're a parent that's dealing with any kind of neurobehavioral challenge, you've already started to get into the information that is well known about the brain. This too is about the brain. What is the brain responding to? Well, let's take a look at something. The brain has function on both sides. The need to talk is on the right side of the brain. The work of talk is on the left. So right now, you're seeing both sides of my brain communicating to you. I have a dire need to communicate to the community and the world at large. I want you to know this information. If we sit around waiting for double-blind placebo trials, we are 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road before this stuff is going to be validated by a paper. You can see the information right in front of you and you can make correlation. So I have a need to communicate this information. There's a work to this communication. I need to be able to present this information in a sequential order so that it makes sense. I need to keep your interest. So I'm sitting here putting all of this together, and in perfect timing, I am delivering a message. If you ramp up either side of this brain more than it should be, you create an altered timing. So if you engage in electronics throughout your entire day, and this becomes your mode of communication, what you are doing is perceiving all need to talk as too much work. So again, the need to talk is on the right. The work of talk is on the left. If this side goes up too high, if the left side goes up too high, I perceive all verbal communication as way too much work, and I don't want to engage. So I bite at you. I defy you. I disobey you because of the way that my brain is communicating into my body and how I am perceiving it. We have put cell phones into the hands of children way too early. I think they're fabulous for communication. I absolutely do. And I think it's wonderful that a child would have a communication device, especially with what goes on in schools sometimes. And some children have been able to save lives because they have their cell phones on them. I get all of those arguments. But oftentimes these kids, it's affecting them. It's changing. It's an environmental trigger that's literally changing how they are supposed to engage in the world. Kids today will have their cell phones and they're texting while they're all standing in a circle rather than turning to one another and having a conversation. Be that bold parent. When you come home, there is no need to constantly be texting. Pick up the telephone if you want to talk with one of your friends. Encourage your teenagers. Be a home for these children to come together and play connects or make s'mores or do something that's physical and engaging and bring laughter back into those communications. They don't need their cell phones. Make a bowl in the middle of the table. All cell phones go into the bowl when you're in the house. There is no need. If one goes off, the parent can alert. Better yet, tell those parents if they need to communicate with their child, have them call you. We've got to get back to the art of communication. We are completely changing a generation. And as parents, we're not understanding, why don't kids ever get together anymore? We need to be the role models to our children. We need to be the ones to help them not lose the need to be with others. If your child isn't socializing as you expect them to, take a step back. Look at the environment in which we've created them.